Did you know that COSTARS authorized suppliers are eligible to sell to our membership of more than 9,000 members? We know that as sales professionals, you're always exploring ways to increase your sales opportunities. Did you know that it costs approximately 6 times more trying to attract new customers than strengthening relationships with existing customers? COSTARS authorized suppliers already have one foot in the door, and today's webinar was created to help you leverage COSTARS participation into sales. In today's session, we're going to discuss COSTARS statistics to understand overall user spend to help you strategize your engagement. The member mindset, what is important to our members, how they think, and the challenges they face. How to engage with these members to generate more potential business with them and become top of mind when they're in need of your products and services. And finally, supplier responsibilities, benefits, and training opportunities. As business professionals, I'm sure data drives decisions in your normal day-to-day. So these statistics will speak volumes. In 2005, 1 year after the COSTARS program began, we had nearly 3,000 members, and currently there are more than 9,000. You would think that's a finite number of local government entities and school districts. There's only so many townships, only so many school districts, but growth still comes from the vast number of nonprofit, tax-exempt, publicly funded organizations, and our growth averages 1 new member each business day. In addition to membership growth, our supplier base has grown as well. In 2007, we had about 483 suppliers. Today, there's more than 2,000 participating in the program, and that reflects suppliers on both COSTARS exclusive and COSTARS participating statewide contracts. And of course, with the member and supplier growth, our sales have grown throughout the years. From its inception through fiscal year 19, our COSTARS sales have grown from $150 million to over $1 billion in sales. So you can see our members are taking advantage of their member benefits and COSTARS competitive pricing. To help you understand the types of local public procurement units that make up the core of our membership, we wanted to provide a snapshot of the percentage of members per category and how that relates to the total membership of more than 9,000 entities. Please note these percentages do not indicate the number of member entities per category, but the percentage of our overall membership. So you'll see at the top, municipalities like townships, boroughs, cities, joint municipalities, and subdepartments comprise 32% of our membership total. Next comes our fire, rescue, and ambulance companies, EMS, at 19%. Other nonprofits, that's those nonprofit tax-exempt organizations that receive public funding, at 12%. Then education, authorities and commissions, health institutions, school districts, higher education, and counties. Also, it's interesting to take a look at COSTARS member spend by member category through COSTARS exclusive contracts. Members in the education category, excluding higher education, college, and universities, generate the most spend with 36% of the overall COSTARS exclusive contract sales, with municipalities coming in second at 27%, then counties, authorities, colleges and universities, EMS, health, and other entities. This information, along with the marketing tips Felicia is going to share, will be helpful when promoting your business to COSTARS members. The next couple of slides may not be new information to you, but since we're exploring the member mindset today, it's important to review these topics as they do influence decisions that our members make. We just talked about how the member spend breaks down for COSTARS exclusive contracts across our COSTARS member categories. Many of our member categories are held to the requirements of the Pennsylvania Procurement Code thresholds. And that procurement code states that any entity that's required to follow the threshold rules may make a purchase up to $11,500 from the supplier of their choice. No bids, no quotes, no problem. Anything between $11,500 and $21,300, they must obtain 3 quotes with the award to the lowest bidder, and then anything over that $21,300 threshold, they must follow the formal competitive bidding process, unless they're using COSTARS or another acceptable cooperative purchasing program. Because COSTARS contracts are competitively bid, with the Department of General Services, our members meet the requirements of Chapter 19 of the Procurement Code when purchasing through COSTARS authorized contracts. It's estimated that for transactions over that $21,300 threshold, a member invests approximately $3,600 in the public bidding process, and that's comprised of advertising costs, administrative costs, and attorney's fees. Because purchases made through COSTARS satisfies the requirements of Chapter 19 of the Procurement Code, that $3,600 can be applied to the hard costs of the products and services that they need to purchase. Now that you've seen how member categories are spending, we want to discuss why members are using COSTARS for procurement. As you're marketing to these members, you will need to understand factors that help them make their decisions. One of those being using the program. Because suppliers already go through the competitive bidding process with BGS, COSTARS reduces those public bidding costs for our members held to the requirements, as you just heard. Not having to go through the public bidding process reduces a member's time investment during each transaction so they can get right to negotiating and finalizing the purchase with a supplier. COSTARS provides our members with more flexibility and choice in their procurement process. Members can purchase from COSTARS exclusive suppliers, or they can piggyback on statewide COSTARS participating contracts. They're also able to base their decision on more criteria than just price. They can decide what they want to purchase, a specific brand, supplier history, the location of the supplier, or negotiated value adds. The program allows for product customization. Unlike statewide contracts that provide detailed specifications, COSTARS contracts allow for customization of products. Using vehicles, for example, members and suppliers can negotiate add-ons to the vehicle that better fit the member's needs and therefore makes the supplier's offer more competitive. Because COSTARS members receive public funding for procurement of supplies and services, the combination of competitive pricing and negotiation creates an efficient use of taxpayer funds. And finally, the added benefit to the Commonwealth is that the COSTARS program enhances local economic development by providing small, diverse, veteran-owned, and local companies the opportunity to compete for this business. And now that we have a little background of why our members use COSTARS, I'm going to send this over to Felicia now, and she's going to talk about marketing to our members. Felicia? Are you there, Felicia?
I am. Sorry, I lost my screen, so I couldn't unmute myself. Can you see my screen now?
Getting back. Yes.
Okay, great. So before you can create a successful marketing campaign, you need to have some understanding of your potential customer and what's important to them. So we're going to look into the minds of our COSTARS members. So first and foremost, they are budget-minded. They are loyal to suppliers, but they're also very interested in price. So they're loyal when the price is right. They also talk to each other. They use a format or a platform called Procurated, which we're going to talk about a little bit later in this presentation, but they are often talking to each other to find out what their experiences are and, you know, suppliers that they use who's done well for them in the past. They also have small staffs and limited resources, so they're looking for efficient and cost-effective procurement. So as a supplier, do your legwork to take some of that load off of them. And lastly, they're always looking to find help from people. Use COSTARS training to help solidify a relationship with them. As their staffs change, many of our members were not given all of the information by their predecessors on the use of COSTARS. So the more you know about the COSTARS process and how to search contracts within COSTARS, you're more valuable to our members and you become a resource for them as well as a potential supplier. So build that relationship with your COSTARS knowledge. So Kim talked about our over $1 billion in COSTARS sales in fiscal year 2019. These sales have the ability to increase exponentially the more our COSTARS suppliers engage the members and really drive that business. So I want to guide you through some engagement strategies that you can implement to help capture more COSTARS business. So we created this little virtual supplier guide to marketing for COSTARS members just for this presentation today. So we're going to go through some of these ideas. Before we explore the ideas, I do want to point out some things that's important to remember. Our COSTARS members are not required to purchase from any one awarded supplier, and DGS does not guarantee any volume of COSTARS contract sales. So it is the sole responsibility of the supplier to promote their products to members. And the most successful COSTARS authorized suppliers are the ones who are actively engaging with the members. And I think I hear some background noise, so I'm going to look quick to see if there's anybody that should be muted. Maybe it was just my ears hearing things. Or somebody beat me to it. All right, so we're going to talk about what we call step marketing, COSTARS step marketing. The first is searching your member contacts, which we'll go over. Also targeting your audience, so you're making sure that your message matches who the audience is that you're talking to. You'll want to establish your message and a hook. And then lastly, going to market with your message and publicizing. So we're going to start by walking through how to search for the member contact information first. So anything that you're doing within COSTARS, your starting point is always going to be www.dgs.pa.gov/COSTARS. So there you will click on the COSTARS supplier information tile, which will then take you to the supplier information page, and you will click on the supplier portal login. Once you're in the supplier portal, you're going to log into your account, and then you'll select the bidder tab in the top left, and then along the side on the left-hand side, you will then click Enterprise Application. This will take you to your application choices, where you're going to select the first one called COSTARS. And now you will be in the COSTARS Supplier Gateway. So now on the left-hand navigation panel, you'll select the COSTARS members link, and then that will take you into where you can search members. If you want to find someone specific, you can type in any search criteria that you want and then select search. But if you want the entire member list, you fill out nothing in the search area and you just select search. That will bring up the list of members along with contact information, which you can then download into an Excel spreadsheet. With this spreadsheet, you then can manipulate the data to begin to target those specific members that we were talking about. So for instance, if you sell LED traffic signal modules and/or housings, you may not want to target educational entities to receive your message. So filter out all of the ones that don't apply to what your message is, and then you'll have your official target list for that particular marketing campaign that you're doing. I do want to point out one thing that we receive a lot of questions on from time to time, so I did want to take a minute on this. Our members are responsible for their member profiles, just as our suppliers are responsible for their own profiles as well. So when you do a marketing email campaign, you will receive several non-deliverable emails from that blast. There are often multiple users listed under organizations, and our members don't always delete outdated information. We as the COSTARS team periodically send reminders via our newsletters or emails or other formats, reminding our members to keep their profile up to date. But there is outdated information in there. That doesn't mean you're not reaching somebody from an organization, but you may be reaching people who are no longer there as well. So in our steps to marketing, we've now accomplished searching our member contact list and targeting who our audience will be. So now that you know who the members are that you wish to target, now we need to work on the message that you're trying to convey. So now we'll look at E, establishing your message and hook. So first and foremost, you want to make sure that your brand is the focal point of your messaging. You want to make sure that the member remembers your brand along with your message as they're searching and gathering quotes. It's important to co-brand your message with the COSTARS logo. Remember when Kim talked about the money savings that our members gain by purchasing through the COSTARS program? Well, they're always looking for that COSTARS logo when receiving supplier information. They know that's where their money savings can be had. Your why should also be clear, concise, and compelling. What sets you apart from your competitors? You really want to drive your value proposition home. So if you sell Ford vehicles, our members have a variety of vendors to source those Ford vehicles from. So think about what makes your loyal customers return to you anytime they're ready to make another purchase. Do you have 5-star service? What you really want to do is paint a picture for our members of what that would mean for them. And you want to convey what makes buying from you memorable. Because price or overall value is really important to our members with such limited budgets, you should also include a hook to get their attention. Some ideas include deals that are offered for a limited time for COSTARS members, like an additional percentage off, or maybe adding a value-added item at the time of purchase to help grab that potential customer. So now that we have all of the pieces of our marketing campaign ready, we now need to focus on publicizing our message. So at the time of submitting a bid, many of our authorized suppliers include a dedicated website for our members to visit. So I want to look at an example right now of how one of our suppliers incorporated COSTARS into their dedicated website. So we're going to jump out to the interweb here for a second, or maybe we're not. Hold please. There we go. Sorry, one second. I want to look. I think I hear.
And we have someone who raised their hand.
Oh, they did. Okay.
Yes. Do we have a question from Joe Garcia?
No, I'm sorry, I don't. Somehow I must have pushed a button.
Oh, no problem.
That's what it is out there. I was trying
Okay.
to connect. Sorry about that.
Oh, that's okay. Okay, so we're going to look at one of these suppliers. As you can see here, they've incorporated an overview of the COSTARS program and also listing how they support our members in that left-hand side of the main content. Then on the right-hand side, you can see that they actually define the benefits of doing business with them. And you can see that they used co-branding. They've used the COSTARS logo in the lower right-hand corner, as well as their logo at the top of the page. And this next part is what makes them a really good example of this. If you scroll down here on their page, they've listed particular products and also the COSTARS contract number where these products can be found. And that is a really good use of a dedicated website for COSTARS members. Now, one thing I want to point out is when you send a link to use for the search area for our members, make sure that this link directly links to this dedicated page. In this example that we just looked at, the link that they gave us is their regular website link, and you have to know to go looking for that page. So share with us the dedicated website for COSTARS members so that that is where they actually go right to. So it's really important that you brand that your brand and your message is available to COSTARS members. So think about where our members get their information and make sure your information is there too. So you might want to explore some options such as purchasing ads on general association websites, and we're using here as an example the authorities. So as you can see, this this group allows for advertising in their I think it's probably, they probably have a publication as well as their website. So you can check out things like that, or you can think about sponsoring an industry event. And for this example, we're using PASBO, where they provide several sponsorship opportunities that you could explore. And then also look at ads in industry publications, things like the PSATS Township news publication. So if you have niche products, let's say maybe items for fire companies. Think about those industry publications and do some research on what is out there specifically designed for those types of customers. These are the places that you're going to want to purchase ad space to make sure that you're getting that target demographic that you want to build your business in. And also, I'm sure many of us are always putting out press releases to promote new product launches and other noteworthy business updates. Think about using your press releases as well. Always mention the fact that you're a COSTARS authorized supplier, no matter what your message is within the press release. Always mention that you hold contracts with COSTARS. List those contract numbers so that everyone knows where your products can be found within COSTARS. So let's focus a little bit on some brochures, flyers, 1 to 2 sided mailers, business cards, and other marketing materials that are a great way to continuously get your word out. So I wanted to, I'm sorry.
Sorry to interrupt. It looks like we have a question from Michelle.
Okay.
I was just wondering if you have a list of any of these agencies or industry publications that might be relevant or options for us to be able to advertise on. Do you have any lists like that?
To my knowledge, I don't think we actually have a list, and I'm still fairly new with COSTARS, so correct me if I'm wrong on that, Kim. That's not to say that we can't put something like that together.
That would be wonderful.
Yeah, that's a really good idea.
We don't have a list, but the link to the association websites is helpful to show you the different associations, and then you can go there to see, you know, what types of publications they have.
And that actually is a good lead into when Kim takes over towards the end of the presentation. She'll actually show you where to find those links to the associations.
Okay. That would be a useful tool if you had a list of associations or organizations, even that were relevant by contract number or, well, I guess members, you know, but that would be helpful.
Yeah, that's a really great idea.
Thank you.
I'm going to jot that down.
Good. And then I'll look forward to getting it.
Actually, Kim and I have talked about doing a sort of like a members welcome kit once they've started participating. So that actually would be a really good idea of including into that kind of a packet that we're talking about. So thank you for that suggestion.
Sure. Thank you.
You're welcome. So going back to our different kinds of marketing materials, I want to show you some of the examples that some of our suppliers have done in the past. So these are some brochure examples. And as you can see within these examples, the suppliers have co-branded as well as putting their own particular message in the flyer or the brochure. And then another supplier used a 2-sided postcard method. And this is something they sent out to our member list to announce their participation in the program. And that is a really great idea because, again, our members are always looking for that COSTARS connection. So this is a good idea once you become a COSTARS member to do a shout out, say, hey, you know, we're available now for purchasing under the COSTARS umbrella. And then lastly, don't forget about using co-branding on your business cards. These are the form of marketing, excuse me, that you're always handing off and getting into the hands of potential customers. So make sure that brand is on there as well. And just like we're doing today, one of the most beneficial marketing opportunities is being able to be face-to-face with your clients, whether it's in person or virtual, like we're all getting used to within the past year and a half almost. So you want to invite your current and potential COSTARS member customers to things like webinars and lunch and learns to share your new product information and best practices of doing business. So here are 2 invitations that some of our suppliers have done in the past, inviting COSTARS members to a special event. And our team is always happy to provide information for your customers about the program. But we do want to point out, be sure to keep in mind the eligibility requirements of becoming a COSTARS member when you're planning for COSTARS messaging. If you're going to have an overall customer event, we don't want to do too much advertising of COSTARS to people who are not eligible. that just sends a bad message to them. And we can always provide literature and even present via telepresence. But if you prefer a live COSTARS presentation, send us a note or give us a call and we can discuss the availability of a representative of the program being able to be an event resource for you. Now, speaking of resources, we had mentioned a little earlier about Procurated. So we want to talk a little bit more about that now. This is a rating and review platform that our members can use to provide the ratings and reviews of suppliers that they've done business with. They also use it to research suppliers that they might be interested in doing business with so that they can see how these suppliers have performed for other procurement professionals in Pennsylvania. So we have with us today Jenna Gold. She's the Director of Partner Engagement and Business Development at Procurated, and she's going to give you a quick look into the platform and provide some tips on how you can use the platform for valuable information to help you strengthen your business. Thanks for joining us today, Jenna.
Thanks, Felicia. Hi, everyone. Thanks for being here. I am going to quickly share my screen. And let me know if you can see that.
We can.
Perfect. Great. So as Felicia mentioned, Procurated is a ratings and review platform for verified buyers in the government space, as well as higher ed, K through 12, and nonprofits. It's a closed site, and we keep the site closed so buyers feel confident and that the information is coming from their peers, where they experience similar processes and rules and regulations. Think of it as like the Yelp for public sector buyers. It is a national website, so anybody in any state in the United States and actually Canada, as long as they are a public sector employee, can log into Procurated and use it to find new suppliers when they need them. Right now in Pennsylvania in particular, we have 15,800 ratings and reviews, and nationally we have 28,000. So these are going to be COSTAR members, but if you're working with anybody in Pennsylvania, or even if you have a larger service area, maybe you're regional or you're national, this is a site where any of these particular buyers could come and find you. We are the only place on the web where actual buyers can come and find supplier reviews at any point in the purchasing cycle. And it's really like if we just think about our day-to-day life or your private sector business, if you have some, most consumers are using peer reviews to find businesses. It's just something that we do every day. And the public sector is really following in this trend. So just like when we think of like a Yelp or a TripAdvisor, there are really three main ways that these users are using Procurated. And the first is as a search directory. So let's imagine a buyer needs vehicles. They can come onto the site and they can actually search for vehicles. They can also search for marketing services or pretty much anything under the sun that they would need in public sector. The next thing they can do once they've found a list of vendors in the area that service their needs is they can actually read reviews. So from your current and past customers about how you performed. And again, the power in this is that these are public sector peers giving each other information about how you've done in the past. The other thing we have is a contract management dashboard, and different states are using that differently, but in Pennsylvania in particular, there's a COSTARS dashboard. So a COSTARS member can come to Procurated, they can specifically click on a dashboard and they can see all of the suppliers on contract for any particular contract, and they can compare based on feedback from your past clients. And this is a little bit about what it looks like. So when they first get here, they type in exactly what service or product that they need, like lawn services, IT services, tractors, drones, consultings, you think of it, fire trucks. And they could also come in, they can say, okay, we know of Jenna's IT services, and they can specifically type in my business name and go directly to my page to read reviews. So it looks very similar to what it would, again, on another review site that they would search. Here's an example. I've grayed out the business names for obvious reasons, but you can see the review counts, you can see the overall ratings. And then on the left-hand side of the page, something to note is if you're a small business, if you're minority owned, if you're women owned, veteran owned, LGBTQ+, and certified as such, your business will appear when someone filters by those on the left-hand side of the page. So often, as we know, governments and municipalities and different organizations have initiatives to work with businesses in these categories, so we make it easy to find you as such. And then once we click on a supplier from the list, they go directly to your page. Your page will look something similar to this, where you can see the contact information. This is a little bit outdated, but you'll see the contact information. You'll see all the commodities that you service, and then you'll see peer reviews at the bottom there. And now what we're going to talk about is exactly what you can do to manage your page and see your overall rating, and then how you can market to potential customers on Procurated. So there's a way for you to claim your page. It is absolutely free for you to claim your business page on Procurated, and I'm going to walk you through 2 ways to do that right now. About half of you this morning, a little before 9 a.m., got an email from Procurated with your direct link to claim your page. So you can check that now, or you can check that later. I'm going to be sending a recording around in addition to this recording that's like a 2-minute video on how to do this. So if you miss anything here, don't worry, you're going to get that information. So if you got an email, you can just click the email from Procurated and go directly to claim your page. But if you didn't get your email, I'm going to show you exactly how to do this. So you'd go to procurated.com, and then on the right-hand side of the page, at the top right corner, you're going to click For Suppliers, and then you'll click Claim Your Page. And then what you're going to do is you're going to search for your business name. So let's say I'm ABC Heating, and here I am here. I can just go ahead and click on that and start to claim my page. Now let's imagine I'm Jenna's Tractors and I don't exist. You'll see that you can create a business with this name. You just click on that and you go through the prompts. Once you do this, if you're registering yourself, we will need to manually approve you. So give us, I actually have a colleague on the call right now, and we'll keep an eye on it following this call. So if you fill this out and you send in your information, we will go through and manually approve your page and then send you a claiming link. Note that anybody that does this is going to need to verify their email address before they can get in. And please, please, please use a email address that includes the domain of your business name. That makes it just a lot easier for us. If you try to claim with a Yahoo or an AOL or a Gmail, it's going to take us a little bit longer to verify your identity. It could take a couple of days. So definitely try to use an email with your business domain. Now, once you get in to the account, you're going to log in and you're going to see business information, commodity codes, and service areas. The most important things you want to start with are your service areas and your commodity codes. So you can select the entire country if you're a national business. If you only service Pennsylvania, you can scroll down to Pennsylvania and you can select all of Pennsylvania, or you can just say, I only service Allegheny County, and you go through and actually select the counties that you service. Next up is definitely select commodity codes. This is really important because when someone searches for you on Procurated, you want to make sure you're popping up in these searches. We are aware that this search for commodity codes right now is a little confusing, so take your time. If you don't find what you're looking for right away, click through to a couple of different things. You'll see as you click into here, furniture, it'll click some more things. You can unclick or you can keep it clicked, and you can even drill down as low as that. We have them listed as UNSPSC codes, just so you're aware. of what you're looking for. And once you do those two things, you move on to business information, upload a photo. It'll tell you minimum of 300 by 300 pixels, so it'll be a square. And then scroll down here, and you can select that you are on the COSTARS program if it's not already selected for you. So that's a really good thing to let them know. Fill out your business information in the way that you're speaking to someone. And once you finish all of that, you'll see at the top of the page here that you're claimed, and it'll redirect you to your page so you can see your overall rating on Procurated. Again, this is 100% free to do. It's really important, especially if you want COSTARS members to be able to find you, as well as anybody in Pennsylvania or any area that you service in public sector procurement. And I am just going to finish up right here. Again, just so you know, we will send around a recording that shows exactly what I just went through. So don't panic if you miss something. And we're going to provide you with contact information for us. Happy to jump on the phone with anybody individually at any time to walk through any questions you have. So please use me as a resource. And we also have advertising options. This is completely up to you if you take advantage of this. Feel free to let us know if you're interested. We have a newsletter that goes out to 20,000, over 20,000 SLED buyers across the United States. We also do branded content. So instead of, just the typical ad, you can do a podcast with us, or we will write an article with you. For example, if you're using drones to inspect bridges in a way that's never been done before, we love that sort of content and we love promoting you with it. We also do a site takeover. So whenever somebody comes to the site, clicks on, searches for cleaning supplies, searches for vehicles, whatever they're searching for, they'll see your ad at the top of the page. So that's an option as well. So key takeaways from Procurated: definitely claim your business page, whether you got a link from us or you do it manually. Update all your information, make sure it's all there, so when people are thinking about doing business with you, they can find you. Tell your potential and current customers that you're on Procurated. So ask them to go and write reviews for you. Ask them to check out your reputation. Again, once you log in, you'll be able to see your 4.5, 5-star overall rating, whatever it is. And that's a really great way to use this as just really your word of mouth online. And any other questions or issues or anything you need, please email us, suppliersupport@procurated.com. If you can't remember that, my name is Jenna with a G, G-E-N-N-A @procurated.com. Feel free to message me. Both will come to me.
And Jenna, it looks like we did have one question and you kind of answered it, but from Jeff Metzler, how do we get reviews?
Can you hear me?
Yes. Did you hear me?
Yeah, that's a really
Okay.
good question. So I would definitely, like I said, I would let your customers know that you're there, or your past customers. Something else we're doing right now is a get reviews campaign. So if you claim your page on Procurated and you want to email me, I can send you a template that you can send me your past public sector customers, and we'll reach out to them and ask for them to review you on your behalf. As long as careful not to cherry pick, that's something we're really careful about. But if you want to send us a list of your past public sector clients and ask us to reach out on your behalf, we're happy to do that as well. So shoot me an email after this, and I'm happy to give you some specific tips.
We also have a question from Michelle. Is this a new platform, and how long has it been around?
Great question. New-ish. We've been around for about 2 years now. We're a national platform, but we specifically partner with states who want to get more out of it. So we're currently partnered with Pennsylvania, Massachusetts, Nebraska, Michigan, Maine, and I'm blanking on the last, Texas. So we're trying to go through and get specific state partnerships with everyone, but there's reviews for suppliers in every single state right now.
looks like that's our last question at the moment.
Great. And feel free, like I said, reach out to me. Happy to jump on a call with any of you to help as much as I can.
And Michelle said this is a great idea and thank you for sharing. She didn't know anything about it.
Thanks, Michelle.
Okay, so I will share my screen again. And we will finish up our presentation here. And thanks again, Jenna. That was great information. As you may be aware, there are many resources available to COSTARS authorized suppliers. However, earlier this year, we redesigned the supplier information website pages. So we thought a quick review of those resources and where you can locate them may be helpful for you. We've created some quick links in this redesign. They are Become a COSTARS Supplier, the COSTARS Supplier Portal link, COSTARS Supplier Responsibilities, and the COSTARS Supplier Toolbox. So now we're going to talk a little bit more about each of these tips on the website in more detail. To access these resources, you'll visit our homepage, www.dgs.pa.gov/COSTARS, and all supplier resources can be found under the COSTARS Supplier Information button. And let's get the little pointer here and see how that would be right here on the page. This is the supplier's main page of our website. There are quick links at the bottom of the page which are designed as a flow through the program, depending on what you want to do and where you are in the participation process. The first link is titled Become a COSTARS Supplier. Since today's session is tailored to existing program authorized suppliers, we won't take the time to walk through that quick link. If you are attending today's session and you aren't a current COSTARS authorized supplier, in a few slides we'll share a great resource that will help you learn the process to begin participation in the program. Next, you'll see at the bottom the quick link to take you to the COSTARS Supplier Portal, where you'll download the member contact list, maintain your COSTARS profile, upload your quarterly COSTARS sales, and pay your annual administrative fee for participation. Before we move on, I recommend you visit your profile today in the portal to verify your information and your contacts are correct. The last two links at the bottom are for specific processes in the program. They're the links to the COSTARS Supplier Responsibilities and a COSTARS Supplier Toolbox. And we're going to focus on these two quick links. Before we leave the slide, I do want to point out that we've also created duplicate tabs of these quick links along the right-hand side navigation panel as well. So users who know exactly what they're looking for don't have to scroll down to the bottom where we put more helpful information to new users. In this navigation panel, we also created a link to take you right to the COSTARS bidding opportunities page for your convenience if you've been thinking about submitting a bid for another COSTARS contract. So let's look at the COSTARS Supplier Responsibility page. And there was my arrow I was looking for. On this page, your responsibilities as a COSTARS supplier are listed out. In the right-hand top corner of each of the gray sections, you'll find an expansion arrow. For each of the processes, you'll find links appropriate to that process. For example, in the quarterly sales reporting section, you'll see there is a link to the supplier portal where sales are to be reported. You'll also find in this section a link to the training model on sales reporting, which is especially helpful if you're training a new team member on how to take over this process. Next, we'll look at the supplier toolbox, which is the last quick link on the supplier information page. But you can see we also have it available in the right-hand navigation page panel as well. This page, the COSTARS Supplier Toolbox, will be your go-to area for links that are important to your participation. And those include the online training modules, our member contact list or access to it, marketing tools, sales reporting, the guide to COSTARS contracts, bidding opportunities, the supplier guide, frequently asked questions, our event calendar, and newsletters. And we want to talk a little bit about the new calendar of events. In this area, we list all the events and webinars that are either taking part in or producing ourselves, like today's webinar. We've added an event type section so you can easily see which webinars are tailored to suppliers and which ones are for members. We've also added the ability to register for events when applicable right from the calendar. And for those events that have already taken place and they have a recording available, you can access that recording from the calendar as well. For those of you who aren't yet COSTARS authorized suppliers, I encourage you to watch the January 26th webinar, Boost Your Customer Base with COSTARS, and this link will walk you through the process of becoming an authorized supplier. Also on this page is the link to the other associations that we were talking about earlier, so you can access that link to look at the different association websites, and that would be at the bottom of this program resources page. COSTARS is also on social media, Facebook, Twitter, and LinkedIn. These are our social media addresses. We encourage you to engage with COSTARS social media posts to promote your company. We often highlight specific contracts in our social media as well. Replying to and sharing one of our posts about a special offer you're offering to COSTARS members is a great way to get attention. And if you cannot find the answer to a question in the many resources available to you, the COSTARS team is always here to help. The contact info we have listed here will connect you to the COSTARS team. So if an individual happens to be unavailable, if Felicia or myself are not there, out traveling when we're allowed to travel again, others will be aware you've reached and they can help you answer your questions.